Let's get is the Real Monica Adams podcast. And about 10 minutes ago, I posted a video out by my pool, very relaxing. I would have loved to have gone live from you, live for you outside, but the opportunity to get everything hooked up. A lot of cables needed to be outside there. And it's a one-woman show. I'm here at my house. So thought we would do it inside and show you a little bit about one of our sponsors who Today is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. So we're going to talk about our seniors. We're going to talk about parents and grandparents and what a difficult decision it is to make as they get older, as they're aging, and as they may need specialized care. We want to take care of them. I can't imagine ever having to make that decision for my mother. My father, of course, as you know, passed when I was in my early 20s, but my mom, nope, would never put her in a home. I'm blessed that myself, my sister-in-law has always said that if that ever comes to the time where she needs that type of care, that I'm blessed that she would be able to assist and take care of mom with us. So that's not something everybody's blessed with. I know that. We're going to talk about World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. We're also going to talk about smiling more and what that can do for someone. Today is National Smile Power Day as well, and we're going to talk about nurse assistants. Beer Day in Britain on June 15th. It's Global Wind Day. It's Magna Carta Day, National Bug Busting Day, Career Nurse Assistance Day. So kudos and thanks to all of those that assist the nurses, the LPNs, the RNs, the doctors, because I don't think you get enough credit either. National Career Nurse Assistance Day. It's National Marina Day. It sounds like a good day to be out in the marina. It's National Megalodon Day. What is that? Megalodon. Megalodon. I don't know, but it's this crazy looking thing. Just running through some national days. It's National Prune Day, National Salvation Day, again, National Smile Power Day. We got to smile more. And if you're a photographer, it's your day, National Photography Day, Sneak a Kiss Day. I like that. World Tapas Day. There you go. If you're looking for somewhere to go for lunch or dinner, go out to a tapas restaurant. National Young Miso Association, YMA Day. All of those taking place on this June 15th. So we're going to talk about a few of them. We're going to honor the nurse assistants. We're going to try to get you to smile more on this National Smile Power Day. And we're going to talk, it's a very important topic. So we're going to go from the balance of life, right? Kind of a serious topic to having fun and talking about smiling more. All of that on these days. So let's say good morning to a handful of you that are on already. Up and Adam, or as my friend Michelle likes to say, up and Adams on the Real Monica Adams Show. Sean Fitzgerald, Amy Hughes, good morning to you. Marilyn Westenberger, good morning. Candy Cox, Linda Eckert, Pamela Miller, Carrie Samuelson. Oh, she's got a day off. All right. Bill Stadler. Well, on your day off, I appreciate you getting up early with us. Okay. How's everybody doing? Just checking in on you, the mental health check that we always like to do. Hopefully you had a good week so far. We're nearing the end of it, heading into the weekend, and finally going to have a relaxing weekend. That's on my on my plate. What about yours? Do you have a busy one? Last week was crazy busy, didn't have a day of the weekend to just relax. And then we get this. So there's the beautiful balance of life. Good morning from Clearwater Lake. Oh, that sounds nice, Rose. Beautiful. Yeah, I'd love to be around water, which I was when I showed you about 10 minutes ago. I'm not sure if you saw it, but about 10, 15 minutes ago, I was talking about the topic that we would be discussing today. So we want to talk about our seniors. We want to talk about as they're aging. I mean, you just think about your own life and think about, let me pour my water here. I'm going to drink another bubbly. By the way, thank you to all of you that were so sweet and checking in on me yesterday. It was a rough one. I hadn't felt like that in a while. How many of you drink bubbly? Bubbly, lime bubbly. This is not a sponsor, but maybe they should be because I've talked about them a few times. I love Michael Bublé, and I love the fact that they have him as their spokesperson. If you haven't seen those commercials, they're very cute. He says, Michael Bublé. It's Bublé water. It helped calm my stomach. I didn't really want 7-Up, but I know ginger and peppermint, everybody was saying, just really rough yesterday. Concussion symptoms I hadn't had in a while. But today is a new day. See? It will always work itself out. Good morning, getting a massage today. Oh, nice, Leona. Have an incredible one with that. Okay, so how many of you have had to make that decision for your parents or grandparents. Let's go deep into that here in the next few minutes. I also want to thank all of our sponsors. Of course, you see Envita Health and Wellness. We come from the Envita Health and Wellness Studios live on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then, hi, Robin. Oh my gosh, one of my dear friends that I personal trained for years and we became good friends. Speaking of nurses, she is a nurse, and we want to thank Robin. Do me a favor and pass along to all of your assistant nurses that today's their day. Today's their day to be honored because, again, if it wasn't for all of the levels of medical care, we wouldn't be able to be taken care of the way we are in the hospitals and in nursing homes and hospice care, et cetera. And I think it just is, sometimes it just goes by the wayside that every level of the care that you get, some people get forgotten about. So again, thank the assistants because today is National Career Nurse Assistance Day to celebrate and honor assistants with the nursing, with again, whatever level, whether in a hospital or they're in a private care. Early, it says every year, National Career Nurse Assistance Day starts off National Nursing Assistance Week, and it takes place on the Thursday during the second full of week of June. This year, it's taking place on June 15th. And we're taking the opportunity to thank these entry-level professionals who act as coordinators between patients and doctors who dedicate their lives to serving others. Let's also appreciate those who are serving others by providing them with the needful, like scholarships for those students who want to pursue their career in service of others. So there we go. Do you know anybody that is in that field? Maybe they're trying it out. Maybe they want to see if they want to be a nurse. They want to be an LPN or an RN, or maybe they want to go even higher. So my lovely friend, Robin, who is in that field, Robin, do me a favor and tell them thank you. Linda says, I love bubbly. I have raspberry and lime also in my fridge. Yeah, raspberry is good. I think there's a watermelon one. Good morning. It's a good day to have a great day. It sure is, Richard. Yes, bubbly water. We need you as a sponsor. Caroline, share the love, become a sponsor. There are so many options and monetary levels. There are. So we, of course, thank Envita Health and Wellness as our title sponsor. And we're going to be talking with Dr. Sarah next week about tattoos. Do you have one and do you regret it? Or as you've seen those hilarious commercials when it says regrets and they're like, you spelled it wrong. Yes, I saw a tattoo the other day I was really surprised by. I was going to post it, but I thought it might get back to the gentleman that has it. You never want to shame somebody. You never want to have it get back to someone to say, oh my gosh, I think she took a picture of your leg. I just couldn't believe that he had this on the back of his calf. It was a naked woman. She had horns. I don't really know what it was, but all I know is that they had a kid that looked to be about 3 or 4 years old. And I can guarantee you that kid just stares at the back of that calf thinking, hello, like, what is that? And then you're told, as a kid, oh, don't watch this, cover your eyes on this particular part of the movie. I don't know. It just sent weird mixed messages. I thought it was strange. And I wondered if at some point he would have a regret about having that on the back of his calf. We could talk about that too, actually. We could talk about it as we lead up to the interview next week with Dr. Sarah. We got a lot of things to cover in the next 50 minutes. I've never had a tattoo. It's not my thing. But I'm not shaming anybody that has one. Good for you if that's what you want. I don't want one. And I think if I had had one, I would have had a regret. Like you make the decisions, maybe on a drunk night in your teens or 20s. And then you're like, oh my gosh. Her main thing was she has a lot of professionals that come to her that say, I don't know what I was thinking, but now I'm trying to apply for this job and I've got to show this part of my arm or whatever. And I want to have the tattoo removed. So that's what we're going to discuss is tattoo removal with Dr. Sarah Franco with Envita Health and Wellness. That's on tap next week. We'll also be talking to a patient in the very near future who has had ketamine treatments and how great his life has changed. I mean, they were sending me pictures of him out gardening, doing all these things where he was just slumped in a couch in a deep state of depression before he had that. So those things will be coming up. And as you can see here, if you'd like to be a sponsor or you know someone that would like to, please let us know. Have them shoot me an email right there, info@therealmonicaadams.com. I want you to know that we have multiple levels for you to become a sponsor. And I just want to thank those that are on board already. Envita Health and Wellness. We also have Carroll House Furniture, that beautiful set that you've seen over the last couple days on Monday and Tuesday when we were live. That set, that beautiful white chair, the incredible tables, that rug, that's all from our friends at Carroll House. And then Aldon Heating and Cooling. indoor air quality specialist, Jeff and Toy. They came on as well, so we'll be hearing more about them in the coming months. And then Florida Direct Palm Tree with locations in the Hillsborough area. They also have Osage Beach. And the video that you saw about maybe 15, 20 minutes ago with the palm trees in my backyard, that's from them. That's where I first heard about them. And then when we were talking about having plants in the studio, it was just a natural of, oh my gosh, let's have palm trees. I'm going to actually drive there today just to make sure that they're taken care of. On my off days, got to make sure that they're watered. There's not a lot of care that goes into it, though. I mean, you just have to make sure they have light, and it's all about humidity, I'm told, making sure those little branches are all spritzed, and so that keeps the greenery in them. But if you never realize that you could have a palm tree in the state of Missouri, you can, either outside or inside. If it's outside, they just pick it up for you in the cold months, and they keep it in their greenhouse, or you can have it inside like we have now. So thank you. That's now 4 incredible sponsors that believe in the mission of the Real Monica Adams podcast. And I have sponsor sheets that I've sent out to a handful of other people. So we're in talks. So again, it's really more so about your business and who you are aligning with the mission of trying to make the world a better place, mentally, physically, spiritually, and just connecting on a deeper level. I was asked by somebody the other day, hey, Adelaide, come here, sweetie. No, not on that chair. I wish you all could see her. No, not on that chair. Come here, baby. Come here. Over here. Come. Here you go. Thank you. All right. Just being real here. She jumped up on my beautiful French chair, and that's a no-no. You can go on that chair. Good girl. So I want you to understand that not just anybody's going to be on this show. So if somebody does not align with me at all, and it's more of a negative thing that they're trying to promote, or it's just not about health and wellness and living life to the fullest, I'm not just going to put any sponsor on here. I have integrity and morals and class, and that's how I was raised. And so that's what you're going to see on this show. Understand that that's what's important to me. Okay, let's see. Before we go to a quick break, let's see. I don't want to miss any of you. Yes, National Nursing Assistance Day, National Nurse Assistant. Share the love. Good morning to Tony Wayne Johnson Sr. How are you? Good morning. And Leona, I got a tattoo on my 70th birthday on my forearm. Be still and know. No regrets at all about getting it. Very good. Got to do you. Yes, we do love our sponsors. And we're going to take a quick sponsor break. When we come back, let me know, have you had to make the decision about putting your parent or your grandparent, maybe you had to get together with your siblings, putting them in a home? Did you regret it? Did you not do enough research? Because there are some homes out there that are not taking care of your parent or your grandparent the way they should. There's some horror stories that we've done when I was in news that I couldn't believe was taking place. I mean, if you had a constant camera on your parents and grandparents, and you saw some of the things and the way they were treated, you would take them out of that home so quickly. So it's not a decision that should ever come lightly. It just happened for a friend of mine. She had to put her mother-in-law in a home, and I know that was a difficult decision. Again, what levels can we go to where we don't have to do that? There are some amazing ones. I mean, look, I personal trained at Friendship Village for many years, for about 3.5 years. I go there and see my seniors on a regular basis. They tell me that they feel like they're living in a resort every single day. And I love to hear that. That's what you would want, but that's not what always exists out there. So we're going to take a quick break, thank our incredible sponsors. And when we return, we're going to talk about that and National Smile Power Day. If you know anybody, by the way, that is a nursing assistant, let's give them a shout out. Let's give them the attention that they so justly deserve today on this National Career Nursing Assistance Day, National Smile Power Day. And if you want to, go grab a prune because it's National Prune Day too. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com.
Carroll House is now the contemporary furniture design center.
We now have the largest selection of the latest ultra-modern furniture.
Sleek European designs, unique metals, bold lacquers, plush fabrics, and retro styles.
Modern furnishings with exclusive collections only at Carroll House.
Plus free financing, free delivery and setup, and free in-home design.
Visit the St. Louis Center for Contemporary Design inside our 3.5-acre showrooms at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
All right, welcome back. It is the Real Monica Adams podcast. Thank you so much for being with us. And do me a favor, have people that are on your social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, maybe it's Twitter, maybe it is on YouTube, wherever, just let them know that we're discussing this today. We're talking about seniors, and maybe we can help them out if they're making that difficult decision of putting their loved one. Now, let's talk about parents. We'll talk about grandparents, but it could be an older sibling. Anytime you have to make that decision, maybe you can help someone make that rough decision, and you can tell them the levels of research that they need to do. So let's go back here. Michelle, actually, who is part of our team, she said that her mother, Julie, had her mother pick out her nursing home and get on the list years before she was ready to go. It made the transition so much easier, and we couldn't be happier with how she was treated. So Michelle, can you tell us the research that she did? What levels of research did she do to ensure that she knew that they were on a higher level of care? Because some people just pick a place by thinking it looks great on the outside, or these wonderful pictures, and it's all smoke and mirrors, and it's all about marketing. But then you hear these horrible stories of how mom, dad, grandparents, older sibling was treated. Let's see, who else? Who else has had to make that decision? My brother and I let my mom make that decision. I wanted her to move in with me, but she decided to move in a nursing home. I moved her from Kentucky to Illinois so I can be close to her. Yeah, I can't imagine being states away. And that's what's hard too, right? If you have kids that don't live in the same state as you do, then they're making that decision and they are states away. That would be a very difficult thing, I would think. Again, all I have to say is I'm blessed that I know that I'm not going to have to make that decision. I've already been told multiple times by my sister-in-law that if it ever came time to where my mom was needing that type of assistance, that we would never put her in her home, that she would be able to stop. She's actually very close to retiring anyway. My brother retired at the age of 59. He wanted to retire early. You probably heard him talk about that on Monday. If you didn't, he was part of my big celebration. And he talked about how we lost our father at the age of 59. He wanted to really enjoy his life. He was blessed to be able to do so. So he retired. My sister-in-law cleans homes, and she said, she's backing off. She wants to spend more time with him. I saw a video on Tuesday where they went out with their grandkids. They were hiking, playing around the water. I love the fact that my brother and sister-in-law are able to do that. But more importantly, I'm so blessed that when it comes time that where my mom might need that type of care, that she is going to be able to take care of her. And then maybe you bring some nursing in to do that assistance. But I've always said growing up, I would never put my mom in a home. I would do everything I possibly could. And if I had to stop working and my husband had to continue or whatever would have to be done, that I wouldn't do that. I just always was very fearful. Then I think it's because of all the stories that I did about the elder abuse. And this is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. And that's why I wanted to come on and talk about it, because we have to take care of our seniors. You think about what your parents have done for you or what your grandparents have done for you. And then all of a sudden, when they're getting older and they need the care, there's too many stories out there, too many stories that I've done in news where someone's put into a home and they are abused on so many levels, mentally abused, sometimes physically abused. We've done reports of sexual abuse that's taken place. Hopefully, a lot of those homes have been shut down or those people have been arrested, but it existed. And can you imagine that being your parent? Let's see. Unfortunately, finances is a big decision factor. Yes, it is, Leona. Great point. Marilyn said, I want to do a shout out to my good friend Joanne. She's a nurse, but in the past couple decades, she has been taking care of my family members at their home. My parents and my mom's two cousins They all just adore her. There's no one like her who cares for the elderly than she does. She's amazing and an angel on earth. Thank you, Joanne, for all the love and the beautiful way you show incredible care to those. Joanne has always inspired me to be a better person. I mean, that's what you want. If you have to put your loved one in a home, that's what you want. Someone who would take care of your mom, dad, grandparents, grandma, grandpa, or older sibling the way you know you would. Rose said, I took care of my father-in-law in my home for 5 years. He refused to go anywhere. I have lots of friends in the medical field. I applaud them and have the utmost respect for them. It was mentally and physically exhausting. Huge impact while raising my boys, but I did my best for him. Sometimes people just can't do it. Yep, I understand that. They need higher levels of help. No shame at all to have to put someone in a home, but what you have to do is not just, oh, this is 5 miles down the road, this is 10 miles down, this is close enough, but you don't do your research. That's why I'm coming today to talk about this. Is until you make that decision, I hope you just exhaust your research. Talk to as many people as you can. Go, interview them. Look at the BBB. Look at any type of rating system that you possibly can. But I more so would want to interview people that are there and their loved ones to make sure that you're going to get that kind of care. That care does exist, but you have to make sure that you're putting your parent in the right home. My siblings all had to make the decision for my mom. It was as hard, but the best one, my father-in-law made the decision himself, okay? Aside from how clean the facility was, they would see how clean and happy the elders were. Every morning they were all up and moved out of their rooms and get much needed interaction. They talked to a number of the families that had their parents there. What did I just say? My Aunt Mary was also a volunteer there. All great reviews. It's all about that. People don't realize it's not the nursing home. It's about the people that work there. Correct. I recommend visiting at different times of the day. I find the smaller towns take care of their people. Cheryl, good one. Rose, we had no choice. My mother-in-law had Alzheimer's. She was mad when we put her in there, but she needed help. We couldn't give her. We showed up many times unannounced. It was always great. We researched places. These are your loved ones. Research, research, research is what I'm talking about. Now, remember, we discussed this topic a little bit about 2 months ago about that difficult decision of putting a loved one in a home. Today, we're really bringing it back to the attention because it is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Now, here's the reason I also wanted to bring it up is because some of the homes that I had to go into when I visited some extended family, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to call out who it was. But I went in and every one of the seniors were so downtrodden. They looked so depressed. They weren't active. They just kind of rolled them into this room. None of them, nobody was around them taking care of them. The place was dirty. I heard screaming that was taking place. Nobody was going in to take care of them. It just really broke my heart. And that was the day that I said, I will do whatever I possibly can to ensure that I would never put my mom in something like that. Never had to. I don't believe my mom's mom was put into a home. My mom's father passed away earlier, so I don't remember. And again, I know I was a little bit younger, but I don't remember them ever being in a home. So I think my mom was also blessed that they were able to take care. But it's just that vision I have of this particular home. And then there's stories, again, as I said, that I've done of the abuse that has taken place. Now we see that also sometimes when it comes to, I'm going to take it both ways, not just our seniors, but our children as well. So you have a kid that's going to have to be gone, the kid has to be taken care of in some kind of a daycare. Do you do your research? I don't think enough people do that. And you have to go to the ends of the earth of your research to ensure that they're taken care of. Michelle's asking if Joanne is watching. Let us know. My cousin Carol Shaw used to be a home health nurse for the elderly. Now she's full-time taking care of her aunt who has dementia. She said she feels like God has been preparing her for the role of caretaker for her mom all her life. Carol's an awesome person. Well, Carol, a shout out to you. Laura, good morning to you. How many of you know someone that's in that industry? Here's the other part. I do believe that they're angels because there are certain levels. Children, very young children, and our seniors. Those demographics, you have to have a very patient and a very caring person deep in their heart to take care of those ages. Seniors my sister-in-law worked in a nursing home when she was in her 20s, and she still to this day says it was the most rewarding, because if you just really care and you sit down and you talk with them, they have so many incredible stories to pass along. But you have to really be a good listener. You have to be very patient and just understand that they have been through so much in life. They have so much to provide us. They have so much care that they've done already for their loved ones. And all they want when they're in a home is to be taken care of the way you were able to be taken care of by them, right? It's that circle of life. They don't want to be a burden. And I know somebody earlier said that their loved one was mad at them. You have to understand the Alzheimer's itself is a horrible disease, and anger and depression are two very big parts of that particular illness. So someone who has dementia, someone who has Alzheimer's, very difficult. First of all, because they're not in their right mind, and they a lot of times will remember those long-term memories, and they have a horrible time with short-term memory. Are they really angry at you? Probably not. It's just a reaction of the disease. They are scared, and that scared feeling comes out in anger. So the person that said that, and I know that somebody had mentioned that about a month or so ago, that their loved one was so angry with them. And then there was also somebody that said that they always felt that they would go and visit their loved one, who, I don't know whether it was a mom or a dad or who it was, but they always felt that the person was trying to make them feel guilty if they weren't there 24/7, if they weren't there the very next day. And I said, it's just because they're scared, right? The disease itself has made them scared. If they could actually say that, but they can't. They can't really tell you how they're feeling because it just comes out jumbled because of the disease. So understand that is a level of something that they can't control. When they're then, if they can really kind of in their mind try to figure out what's happening, why are they going into this place that's confusing to them, and then they're confused in the first place just from the disease, and then they are waking up, and if they even remember you, I mean, the fact that you got to focus on that, the fact that they're even remembering you, even though it comes out in anger, you have to have the patience to go through that, because the fact that they're remembering you starts to diminish, and then they don't even know who you are. And then you're no different than the person taking care of them at the home. It's a scary thing. Marilyn says, unfortunately not, hopefully later. Yes, she's got to see this so we can give her a shout out. So anyone else that's had to make that horrible decision, understand that my heart goes out to you, because it's not an easy one. I'm just hoping that when it comes to that time, that you understand that there are levels that you and your siblings, or if it's just you, maybe you are you're the only child, and then you have to make that decision. And I know that somebody brought up a point earlier. It's very true. Finances it's a huge part of it. And many people, they can't take the time off of work, or they can't stop working. And that's what has to happen sometimes. If they need that type of care, maybe it's a 24/7 type of care that you need. Maybe it's an in-home nurse that you need. We talked to that incredible couple the other day that has that baby Freya, and that when that child is able to go home, then they need 24/7 care from like 4 nurses. It's just that type of care. I just every day would wish that it was national nursing, national nurses assistants, medical care, etc. They all need to be applauded for what they do. And I'm sure when they come home from work, it's sheer exhaustion of the type of care that they provide and what they have to do. And sometimes the way they're treated, it's not on purpose. They know that, their training that they go through, the schooling that they go through, they're taught that someone will lash out at them, or multiple people will lash out at them, not on purpose. I honestly, truly believe, and any nurse that's on here still, would you agree with me, that it's just a level that they get to in their minds of being scared of your own mortality, scared of what the disease is going to do, what the illness is going to do, scared that their loved ones are not around constantly, and then scared of the pain that they're feeling. It's so many levels, right? I just can't imagine. I just remember when my father was, and God love the people who took care of him. My father was in the hospital. He was diagnosed with bladder cancer, and then it metastasized and took over his body. But he was in Christian Northeast Hospital. We grew up in Florissant. He was there, and then when he was put on hospice, I was young, so I don't remember her name. I wish I did. Maybe if my mom pops on, she can tell me who it was. But there were people that took care of him, fortunately, in our home. So hospice care at home. But it's all those things. How do we make the decision of whether it's at home care, whether it's in the hospital, whether it's at a private nursing facility, it's skilled care. One of the things that I was asking, I went to brunch with the seniors I used to personal train the other day, and I asked them, like, so what's advanced care? What's skilled care? What's this? And they said it just depends. One of the things I think that they wanted me to get across is that these type of places that are incredible, that really do take care of you, that make you feel like you're living in a resort every single day, like a Friendship Village, and they've got that one in Sunset Hills, and there's one in Chesterfield. They said that they wish more people would come there earlier on in life. And I thought it was a really powerful thing that he said. He said what they're finding all too often now is that people are going there when they need the care later on in life. Like they're already coming there and they're not able to enjoy all the amenities, all of the fun activities that take place. And I was like, oh, yeah, interesting. And what I found out, my husband loves to go there with me and visit, and he looks around. He's like, this place looks incredible. And he's like, I want to live here. He's serious, by the way. And I was told that at the age of 62, that you can start living at Friendship Village. 62. Now, finances is a big thing. I don't think it's cheap, obviously, to go there. But one of the things that they were mentioning is that they have activities, if you want, all day long, from obviously physical exercise to painting to writing classes to just sitting and listening to the piano. They said that they really want to give a shout out to all of those that play a part in all the activities that are planned for them. But they said they wish that more people would realize that this is the kind of place that they could live, and a kind of, they said sometimes they feel like there would be a burden to the kids, and they thought, we don't need the house anymore. We don't need to do all the activities, all the chores at our home. Can't take care of the home like we used to. Can't do all the gardening like we used to. So it's nice to have a place like this. And so they went off, and they went in I think in their early 70s. Now I think they're in their early to mid 80s. But they said, we wanted to come here where we were still very active and we could really take part in all the activities that were planned for us. And then knowing the peace of mind, right? That's what this is about, peace of mind, knowing that when we need to be taken care of, that there are people here that will take care of us. But they said, but why do so many people wait when they're to that level, that they need the advanced skilled care, that they've never got a chance to take part in this incredible facility that's there for them? So I thought that was a good point. What do you think about that? Are you thinking that you want your parents to stay in their home as long as they possibly can and not go to that type of a place? A senior village, a senior skilled care, advanced care. You don't want that until they absolutely need it. He actually wanted me to ask all of you. And he said, I would have a talk with your parents and your grandparents earlier and tell them, you don't have to do all of this. You have lived so much of life, you should be taken care of. And not taken care of in the medical sense, taken care of in you should enjoy life earlier on. I thought that was really powerful. And this is coming straight from a senior. And then he said that that's what they find in many of them. When he first came into the Friendship Village, he said that this was like 10, 15 years ago. He saw more people that were healthy and that they were moving in because they needed it. Now they actually did an extension. They built on to that, and it was built on for more, I think, private apartments. But what they have found is more people are now coming, needing advanced level care. And I think they're like overflowing probably there. More people needed to take care of them because they're in advanced state of needing care, not coming in needing just an apartment because they just want to enjoy their later life. And so it's kind of flipped. It's an interesting way to look at it. And I thought, yeah, I mean, look at my mother. She still has her home. She's 85 and she's all very active, but she's doing all the gardening. Sometimes I get worried about her. I'm about an hour away from her. She's out there in the heat or extreme cold and still wanting to take care of. She finally let somebody cut her grass. But that's another good question for you. For those of you that have older parents or older grandparents, do you get worried about them driving? And that's another big question that we can ask here in the next 20 minutes. When not even just making the decision to put your loved one in a home, but when do you make the decision to say, I'm not good with you driving anymore? And by the way, for those of you that have had to have done it already, how did you do it? Because I get scared sometimes. She's not there yet, but I get scared sometimes with my mom, and I'm like, oh, I think she's okay. My husband doesn't want her driving down to our house anymore, so we meet her, and then we go to pick her up, or we drive her to the house and get it. He's just worried because it is true. I know as they get older, then they get angry about you taking that independence away, taking the keys away, and then what happens? They're there without a car. You hope that somebody's close enough for them to take care of them, to go run them around to just a grocery store or go run them to church or whatever it may be. But I wish it was an easy thing where they would realize your reflexes slow down, your mind is not as quick as it used to be. God forbid something happens. I mean, I remember doing stories all too often of people thinking it was a drunk driver, and it wasn't a drunk driver. It was an elderly person that got onto the highway in the wrong direction. And we hear about these horrible accidents that happen to them and to someone else. We don't want them to hurt themselves. We don't want them to hurt somebody else either. So all these decisions that are made. So we're talking about seniors today. Yes, it's World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, and we've been bringing awareness to that. And I hope you understand when you make those decisions, you've got to go through those levels. But I also want to talk about when you make the decisions of, as they feel, taking their independence away. Let me go back to some of your comments. Good morning. I think I already said good morning to Laura. And Michelle, thank you. Michelle posted the GoFundMe again for Freya. What an incredible interview that we did with Michael and Aaron. Michael backs Aaron Locke. I've been talking to Michael's father, Mike. He appreciates all of you so much. We've been keeping an eye on the GoFundMe page. And the day I went on, Wednesday morning after we had them on, I know we were up like $810. And then all of a sudden I looked and somebody gave a $500 donation. Somebody gave a $1,000 donation. And I believe Michelle said, since we did the interview, the GoFundMe has raised $3,055. Now, you know that's from this community. I know it's from all of you that are so giving, and that not only are you giving, but you're spreading it around. I want you to take the GoFundMe and take some pictures maybe that I took, or if you want some pictures from that interview that day, we'll keep posting because I told them I'll do whatever I possibly can to continue to help them. That's the thing. We want to make sure that there's amazing people out there to take care of us on every level. They're going to need 4 in-home nurses for baby Freya when baby Freya finally is able to come home. And I know you've reached deep into your heart. You've shared that GoFundMe page to others who also have the means to donate. I just absolutely love all of you, and I thank you. 3,055. That's incredible. Linda said, my father-in-law chose a facility in St. Charles that was great. He chose to live in a condo they had on the premises. They had to move to their assisted living when he had a stroke. Can't remember the name of it, but very nice. Love to hear that. Robin, I agree. The ability to be involved in activities, make new friends, have people checking on you regularly can really change a person's outlook and improve their happiness. This is coming straight from a nurse. Robin's an incredible nurse. And Robin, how many years have you been a nurse if you're still on with us? So that's the thing. It is, I don't know. I just think that they're due that, aren't they? You think about how many years, and I just love to sit down. If you don't do this, please do. Just sit down and listen to them. Just ask whatever the topic is and just listen because they want to be heard, especially when they've been living alone for so long or they're in a nursing facility. And they just have somebody come in and take care of them, and then they're just there watching TV. Maybe they're not involved in the activities. As Robin and I are talking about, maybe they get into that facility when they really are at a level of just needing care and they can't do the activities. They wish they can. They see all their friends in there that are active, maybe wondering, like, maybe I should have come in here earlier. I don't want them to think that they have to get to the level of needing the care and they haven't had time to really enjoy themselves. I'm so blessed. My mom's involved in gardening club. There's a pontooners club that she's involved in. No, she doesn't have a pontoon. I used to say that. I'm like, do you go out on the pontoon all the time? And then when it gets into the cold months, I was like, you're still going to you're still going to your pontooners club. And she's like, oh yeah, we don't get out on the boat. We just go over. It's yes, this person has a pontoon, I think that hosts this, but they're not always on it. It's just the fact that why are they doing it? Because they want to get together. They have these big horse racing parties when it comes down to the Kentucky Derby, all these different activities. She also is involved in the National Historic Society. They go out on these incredible trips. Isn't that what you want for your parents? You want them to stay active. You don't want them to be at home alone. You know, my mom used to talk about when the weather is changing and it gets darker earlier in the cold months, and it's 5 o'clock in the evening, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and it's already getting dark. And she's like, that's when it gets lonely, right? When you don't have a partner and you're not out doing activities. But if they're in a home and there's activities all day long, then I think it warms our heart of knowing, oh, mom, dad are taken care of, right? So I think that's what they were trying to get across. Robin said she agreed as a nurse. Yes, maybe you make that decision with them to say, mom, do you really need this condo? Do you really need this apartment? Do you really need this home, this small home, or this big home anymore? What are you doing in it? Are you just lost in the home? Are you trying to do all those chores by yourself? Hopefully the kids or the grandkids are able to help. Whenever my mom needs something, my brother's over there, my oldest brother, my middle brother, myself, my husband, making sure that we take care of them. I always say, hey, you got grandkids, ask those grandkids, those strong boys, tell them to come over and help you because you deserve that. They deserve it, do they not? Linda said she shared Freya's GoFundMe. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oops. Let's go back here. Oh, good comments coming in. Okay, after Grandma had a couple of accidents and drove through the back of the garage, we had to take the car away. Yes, these are the stories I was expecting. We told her that her grandson desperately needed a car for college. That's a really good transition, which he really didn't. But yes, that's what you say, because that's the easy way of saying, oh, she would probably want to give the car. So she gave it to him. Yep, she felt like she was really helping and it wasn't such a terrible transition. It's hard, though, to take those keys away. No one wants to move from their comfort of their home, and we all worry about outliving our money. I see it all the time. My mom's cousin is 97. Her brother lives next door with his wife in their 90s in huge homes that they cannot take care of. There we go. It's what I was just mentioning. It is hard on their children, but they do not want to admit that burden. I'm so proud of my other mother, Evelyn, at the age of 87, to sell her villa and moved into a senior apartment last month. That is awesome. And I know it's a difficult decision. I understand that. I pray I will recognize that myself when time comes. But you know what? I think this is important that we're doing this topic today because it might be the decisions that need to be made earlier on when you're of able mind. Maybe you need to have these talks within your family. Hopefully this makes you have awareness of why wait until it's so far to where suddenly they just need the care, and maybe you need to start asking, hey, mom, dad, Monica brought up a really good point today on her show. Like, do you want to be more active? Do you want activities for you? Do you want to still live here? Or maybe we can find a place that suddenly they have a bunch of friends, a bunch of people their age they get to interact with. Somebody said it was hard to make friends as an adult. I think it's hard to make friends as a senior because you're so alone. You're not able to get out and be as active, and you're not as able-bodied. You're not driving yourself. A lot of times kids don't want you driving. So they're just at home. You call them, but that's only lasting, how long do you stay on the phone with them? 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Maybe you're on with an hour. That's only an hour out of the entire day, though. Then they go back sitting on the couch. That's what I saw in some of these homes. They're not up. They're not active. They didn't have anything planned for them. They're just in their wheelchairs many times. They're just rolled into this place. Nobody was even talking. And I don't know. It just kind of broke my heart. Robin, okay, Robin's been a nurse for 35 years. God love you. That kind of dedication. And she loves what she does. I love you, my friend. So thank you to nurses. Thank you to nurse assistants. Thank you to those that are in school wanting to become a nurse. Rose said she had to take my dad's keys away. Wow, not a good moment. He felt less than. Yes, I had an older gentleman pull out of a parking lot, took the whole side of my car off and drove away. When the police came to his house, he had no idea he hit me. This is what I'm talking about. There will be a day we all have to come to this moment. But I'm trying to get us before those moments because this was just the side of the car. This wasn't a person's life. But do you know how many stories I've done about an elderly person out in a car? They shouldn't have had that license. That's the other part. How often do they have to go and renew and have those tests? I think it should be yearly. Does anybody know how often, when you're past a certain age, do you have to go in? I think it should be yearly. I don't think it should be every 3 years or 5 years or whatever it is, because their eyes have to be checked. Their mental state should be checked. Their reactions should be checked. We're putting them behind the wheel of a car, behind the driver's side of the car. and expecting them to be okay, to take care of themselves, and to have the quick reaction to stop, to see the lights, to get on the highway the right way. These are all very scary things that take place. And I know that they say, don't you ever take the keys away from me. But at some point, don't we have to take care of their lives and the lives of others? There have been people that have been killed both ways, them driving and an entire family of people in a car, or an entire van, or you've got a bus load of kids. We got to think to that level. That's the scary part, folks. You have to understand it's not just their life out there. It is, we got to think what's happening to those that they're driving and maybe they're hitting. So when we have the really hard discussion of, I don't know, maybe you need to take them up and maybe go into a parking lot and run through the things that they used to run us through when we were 16 years old, 15, 16 years old, teaching us how to parallel park, teaching us, going through driver's ed. That's something that I think seniors need. You get to a certain point, and I know everybody's mental state's a little bit different as you get into 60s, 70s, 80s. I mean, you look at my mother at 85, and I feel like she's, the youth of a 60-something-year-old, but the mind does slow down, and you start catching these things. That's what I think is dangerous. Yes, Rose, my mom does look and seems awesome. She is a blessing to our family, but you've got to really make sure that you keep the conversations going, make the mind work, all those Sudoku and all these other little things that they do to keep the mind active and sharp is a necessity. But you also have to watch these things that happen. Marilyn, your mom's amazing, fun-sized, and so active and mobile beyond most of her age. She is, but still, I don't like her driving as much. My mom plans trips throughout the year with her girlfriends to keep them all engaged and active, some small trips and some big. Yes, they're going to Malta, by the way, in October. They have spots for the trip if anybody wants to go with them. She really means that. She knows I wish I could, but I have a speaking engagement that I was booked for, so it's right in the beginning part of their trip. Good morning, Janet. My cousin Carol is watching, was a nurse for elderly for a long time. Carol Shaw, thank you so much for all your years of taking care. Yes, my mom is fun-sized. People always say, where in the world did you get your height from? My mom is only 5 foot now, or maybe under 5 foot. Way to go, Carol. Yes, she was so involved at the retreat, just a bundle of energy with a vibrant smile. She does. And today is National Smile Power Day. So smile more. Understand that if you smile, people used to say if you smile all the time that someone's wondering what you're up to. Let them wonder. It's not. You're up to happiness. That's what you're up to. Robin, do you work at an OBGYN office at Mercy Tower? No. Alicia, every 2 years, I believe. Okay, Alicia, thank you. So she's saying every 2 years that they are having to be retested for their license. I think it should be every year. I mean, we see the mental state in someone go down within like months, don't we? I think it should be every year. My siblings and I have gone through this, and it became easier to transition your parents when conversations are had earlier and your parents feel like they're a part of the decisions made. Very good. That's why I said I think it's important to have these discussions. Eunice to you said she's tipping in. Good morning. Hopefully you watch some of this later. So sorry to hear this. Mine had Alzheimer's, and we were afraid he'd get lost or worse, would kill someone driving. But yes, taking the keys is like taking their pride. I know, I understand, but you're also taking care of them and you're actually giving them life back. Maybe you're extending their years. We shaved down his car keys so he would sit in the driveway in the car thinking it was broke down. Interesting. Sid, thank you, Monica. Elder abuse is real. You're welcome, Sid. Thank you. Yes. So Robin does work at Mercy. I knew she worked at Mercy, but not in OBGYN. Mercy South in the cardiothoracic surgery. Isn't she incredible? Absolutely incredible. Okay, so it's a really good topic today. Again, I want you to just think about it. So I want you to think about our elderly, think about our seniors, think about the life that they've had, but maybe give them some life back. Just start having these conversations earlier on. I know that they might get frustrated. I know they might get angry if you start even having the discussion. You even broach the subject of the discussion of maybe you shouldn't be driving as much. So one of the things that Jim thought was maybe your mom should just, and I know she's still able-minded. I mean, I'm blessed with that. But he was thinking maybe you get to a point where it's more familiar to them. So they run up to church, and that's something that they know, right? It's from the house to church, or from the house to the grocery store. It's more of the known. It's familiar territory, right? But coming down and driving from where she lives in Lake St. Louis down to us, it's an hour drive. It's windy roads. And he just got to a point of thinking, do we really need her to do that? So there's different levels of things that maybe you could do to take some of that fear off of your plate and off of their plate. So maybe there's a point where, hey, meet us here, leave the car there, and then come spend the weekend. Or go drive and go pick them up. I don't know, maybe we're going to stop some of those horrible accidents that happen. And they don't mean it, and then it happens, as this person said earlier, that the accident happened and they didn't even realize that they were involved in the accident. They didn't even realize that they hit the car. I mean, they're not wanting to do it. It's just, there is a lot of fear. There is a lot of pride. There is a lot of independence, that they feel like you're taking the keys away, and that is just my last level of being able to be independent. But there's a time where I don't think they should be behind the wheel anymore. Now, there's a time that they shouldn't be in the home because some dangerous things can happen. They're leaving the stove on. They leave the candle on. You don't want them to burn the house down, right? And they just can't take care of themselves and their home like they used to. So it's all these decisions. Yes, I understand. Carrie said, so freedom from fear and anxiety, or freedom from shame, might be good today. Actually, I'm doing the one on depression. I already have this available. So it's actually embracing weakness. So this is actually day 7 of 100 Days to Freedom from Depression. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And if you have any other comments or any other advice for anybody that's going through this or is close to having to go through this, go ahead and continue to put it in the comment section, and we'll read it before we wrap up. But so listen up. This is embracing weakness. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. This is from 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. We live in a world where the norm is for everyone to share their strengths and their accomplishments. The focus is on what we have mastered or what we have conquered. Even when we're asked to share our weaknesses, we often frame it in a way that makes us look good. For example, an interviewer's question, what's your greatest weakness? And the response, I'm a perfectionist. The answer might land you the job, but what about other situations in life? What about times when you're struggling spiritually, yet you shy away from being honest? Consider this scenario. First friend, I'm so sorry to hear about your diagnosis. How can I pray for you? A second friend, praise the Lord, God is good, we're fine. Just pray for peace and patience as I trust in his timing for a cure. On the surface, that might sound like a good answer. But what if friend 2 said, I've been praying to God for healing, but he's silent. I'm losing faith that God will ever heal me. I can't worship. I can't even pray. When I asked Erin the other day, the mother of Freya, she said she was, she's Lutheran and she leans in on faith, but she said, I'll absolutely tell you, it got to a point where I started to question, like, what else? I mean, hit after hit. What else is going to go wrong with their child? This type of response cannot be spun as a strength. It's authentic, and it reveals the pain and the hurt. We might give canned answers. A lot of people put on the mask. They hide the pain from others, but God knows what you're going through, and he knows your innermost thoughts. In our struggle, pain, or discomfort, our relationship with the Lord can grow and reshape how we live our lives. In our greatest weaknesses and failings, God shows redemption and shows grace. How wonderful it is to be able to acknowledge our ugliest thoughts and feelings before God and let his Spirit heal our hearts and his power transform our lives. The Christian thinks his weaknesses are his greatest hindrance in the life and service of God. God tells us that it is the secret of strength and success. It is our weakness, heartily accepted and continually realized, that gives our claim and access to the strength of him who has said, my strength is made perfect in weakness. That's from Andrew Murray. And Dwight Moody says, real true faith is men's weakness leaning on God's strength. At our weakest point, sometimes that's what we need. We need to lean in on faith. So, one more. Joni Tada said, deny your weakness and you will never realize God's strength in you. So listen to this. This is today's prayer. Father, thank you that I can be real with you. Thank you that my authenticity with you and people who truly care for me will not result in abandonment, but rather an opportunity to watch you work in my weakness. Help me to remember that when I'm weak, I'm open to your strength. So do you see how that kind of feeds in, that we become our bodies weaker, our minds weaker? We lean in on faith and think, who's going to take care of us? Are our kids? Many people that are out, that when they get older, they actually probably would thank you for making that decision because they feel like they're a burden on your life. I've heard my mom say it time and time again. I know you kids are so busy. And I was like, no, we will drop everything because of what you've done for us. You're never a burden. I hope that you never make your parents feel like they're burdening you because they've done so much for you. Remember that. So as we almost wrap up, let me get these last few questions and comments. We went through it also. Mom started out in assisted living, then in memory care. She had dementia. She's gone now. I'm sorry, Stephanie. We miss her when we think about her often. I want to pick up the phone and call her. Yeah, I can't imagine. Great topic today, but got to sign off. Have a great day. You got it? It's funny, we're having this topic, Eunice to you says. My daughter and I just had this conversation this weekend. There's a lady I know with the issue and she gets lost and she still drives. Why buy her a new car? No, please do not. I understand. I miss calling my dad too, says Carrie. Yes, see how this community comes together? Monica, you met my friend Jan at a workout with you. Subject for the future. We had this conversation this week as she is deeply hurt that her grown daughter does not have any interest in being in contact with her aging parents. It hurts her deep, but doesn't want her to feel guilty. How should she handle that? This topic applies to many of my friends. Thank you. I'm trying to understand what the topic is. Past shows, yes, are dropping today on YouTube. Trusting yourself and dealing with negativity. So again, if you are not already following my YouTube page at The Real Monica Adams, Michelle just posted it for you. It's youtube.com/@TheRealMonicaAdams. Please do so. Please follow that page. We'll get those numbers up. Eventually, I'm going to give just specialized content just for my YouTubers. We'll do a little bonus content on Facebook. It's just a lot of things coming for you in the future. But when you follow, that's how you subscribe. And all it means is that you get a notification when there are new topics and new subjects and new shows that will drop for you. So every Thursday, right now, you're getting 2 bonus shows that maybe you never saw on my Facebook page. Or for all those people that you're turning on to the Real Monica Adams podcast that said, well, I can't watch her because I don't have Facebook. That's why we put it on YouTube. And I actually had a discussion with my team because there are other streaming platforms out there like Twitch and Rumble. We're talking about being able to be on multiple platforms. So that way you can receive this show no matter where you watch. And the other great thing is in 2 minutes, you're going to have a brand new audio podcast that will drop on whatever platform you get your audio podcast. So if you want to continue as we wrap up here in just minutes, you'll be able to go on iTunes, from Apple, you can go to iHeartRadio, you can go on Spotify, and I'm going to talk about habits, how to form good ones and how to break bad ones. That's dropping at 8 a.m. So see, we're a busy team. We got a lot of things going for you. So if you want more Monica, all you have to do is go on to your podcast platform and then just type in The Real Monica Adams. You'll see the blue picture that you've probably seen on social media this week, and that is me. And that is something we'll do for you every Thursday. Every Thursday morning, you'll get a new podcast on the audio platforms. And that's a national reach. That's what we want. So there's a lot of Monica in your life. Another great topic. Thank you, Rose says. Love it that you are on YouTube also. Absolutely. Yes, we are here for you on multiple levels. Make sure that we can come to everyone because I know that a lot of people don't want to be on Facebook. I get that. So Facebook, YouTube, audio platforms, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, etc. I just went through this for the past 5 years with my dad and recently lost him in January to Alzheimer's. I remember you sharing that. It's a cruel disease. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to keep him home with me because I needed to be able to work. But we were so blessed with a wonderful, loving, skilled nursing home to care for him. I spent a lot of time there and they became family, I'm sure. That's exactly what you want. Robin, thank you so much. I love that you were on today, and I hope I see you very soon. All of you, just remember the things we talked about. Share it forward. Share this podcast. Let everybody know that there are new podcasts dropping again this afternoon on YouTube that we just mentioned, and also habits, habitual, negative ones that we want you to break, and then the tools to form some new ones. A lot of things to do to change the world on a beautiful, positive scale. Thank you all. Again, tomorrow we'll be live from Kirkwood. If you ever want to come by and wave at the window, I'd love to see you. 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, I'm live for you. And tomorrow we will, actually, let me pick the topic. Hold on. Let me look because a lot of you have been giving us some really good topics. And let me just let you know what's coming up tomorrow so that you tune in and you tell others as well. Let's do, trouble sleeping. Caroline wanted that one. Caroline, tomorrow's for you. Insomnia and trouble sleeping. We're We're going to talk about what you need to do with your mind, what you need to do with your heart, how to shut the brain off. We'll talk about the importance of meditation, and we'll give you some natural, powerful sleep aids. I'm not talking about melatonin. I'll give you those as well. Stephanie, have a blessed day. I thank you all. Go out, pay it forward, spread the love and the peace and the kindness to the world. That's how you change lives. Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.